Hello, I am Professor Sims, and in this video, I'll be introducing my Anatomy and Physiology 2 online laboratory course. If you're a student currently enrolled in this course, please consult the syllabus and course Moodle site for assignments, quizzes, due dates, and other course information. In this unit, we will become familiar with course expectations, resources and information, and methods for online laboratory exercises and assessments. We'll be outlining the BSL-1 lab safety protocols. We do still need to know those protocols even though we won't be working in the wet lab. And those are going to include your proper PPE, personal protective equipment, waste disposal procedures, emergency equipment, etc. This course is delivered in an asynchronous online format, which means that you'll have flexibility to work at your own pace. Just be sure to complete all of the tasks by their assigned due dates. Your learning will be assessed through a variety of self-directed activities, including pre- and post-lab assignments, quizzes, exams, and case studies. While the structure of this class allows for some independence, you're never totally on your own. I'll be communicating with you regularly through email, the Moodle news forum, and of course I have virtual office hours as well. If you ever need to meet one-on-one or in person, you can schedule an appointment using the booking link provided here. If you are requesting an in-person office hours appointment, I would prefer that you actually email me to let me know that. Now let's take a look at the course level learning objectives. These will guide everything that we do and help you to understand what you're expected to achieve by the end of the semester. So the course learning objectives are knowing the structure and function of the endocrine system, the circulatory system, including the heart, blood, and blood vessels, the lymphatic system, respiratory system, digestive system, urinary system, male and female reproductive systems, and then structures involved in pregnancy and embryonic development. The textbook for this course is a free online OpenStax Anatomy and Physiology 2E textbook. It was published in 2022. You can download the full version using the link shown here, or you can actually access it directly through the Moodle site where it's been uploaded for your convenience. In addition to the textbook, you'll be using a lab manual that is written by myself, and it's available for download on Moodle. And both of these electronic books have clickable tables of contents, allowing you to jump directly to a specific chapter, so there's no need to scroll endlessly to find chapter 15, for example. And all of your course materials are organized on Moodle, including the syllabus, course calendar, which is in the syllabus, PowerPoint slides, and individual lab modules. Each module includes a short video like this one, downloadable PowerPoint slides, a pre-lab quiz, and then any post-lab assignments. I just want to give you a short tour of the Moodle page. We'll start here. This is where all your main course materials are going to be. This is where the news forum announcements will be posted, the textbook, lab manual, syllabus. This is a link to my YouTube channel. You'll want to check that out. Then all of the modules can be found here or in the sidebar. Here's the sidebar here. For each lab module, again, you have learning objectives. You have pre-lab work to do. And it's usually a reading assignment, right? And then the pre-lab exercises from the lab manual. The slides are here. The video will be here. Obviously, I'm recording the videos right now, so they're not there yet, but they will be. And then the slides that go with the video, the quiz, and then the quiz here is open for 48 hours. Please be sure you turn the quizzes in and all of your assignments by 5 p.m. I don't have people turn in things at midnight for two reasons. One, it can sometimes be confusing as far as what date it's due, right? And secondly, I'm not grading at midnight. I will grade when I come home after work, so I like for y'all to turn things in at 5 p.m. Here you have the lab exercises. So you're working out of the lab manual, and this here is just like a worksheet where you can put all of your answers to those exercises. And this is what you will submit. Let me pull that up real quick. It looks kind of like this with the corresponding activity and its title and the tables. Those are provided for you to put your answers there, so you don't have to try to upload the entire lab manual because you will get an error if you try to do that. So you use these worksheets instead. Additional instructional videos are available on my YouTube channel, which serve as helpful supplements, but are not a substitute for reading your assigned materials. Be sure to review the syllabus carefully because it outlines all of the essential policies on grading, turning in late work, missing exams, your academic integrity, the use of AI and the policies around that. You'll also find specific exam information within their exam modules on Moodle. Just make sure that you are staying organized. Make sure you check Moodle often and reach out to me if you have any questions because I'm here to help you succeed. Everyone has their own learning style, and I like to encourage students to study smarter, not harder. And what I mean by that is try to get more out of your study time and learn more in less time. So in order to do that, be sure to read and study all of the pre-lab materials provided for each module. They're designed to give you the foundation you need before diving into the more complicated activities. I also encourage you to form study groups with your classmates because reviewing concepts together and supporting one another can make a big difference in how well you understand the material. And finally, create study tools that work best for your particular learning style, whether that's going to be flashcards, concept maps, summaries, or even practice quiz questions. And these strategies will help to reinforce key ideas and make your study time more efficient. Over the years, I've seen many students rely heavily on the strategies listed here on the right. Things like rereading, rewriting notes, reviewing old quizzes, going over old class notes. And these methods there's nothing wrong with them, and they tend to be useful. It's just that they're very time consuming. So at a certain point, your brain starts to kind of burn out, especially if you're spending a lot of time rereading and rewatching, and such that it's cutting into your sleep. Sleep is critical because sleep is the time that your brain forms new neural connections and consolidates memories. So instead of focusing on these activities, I'd like to encourage you to shift towards the strategies shown here on the left. These techniques have been scientifically proven to be more effective and more efficient. Not only do they take less time, but they also result in better long-term retention and deeper comprehension. Now, don't get me wrong, you should still do some rereading and reviewing, but the key is to do those activities in a way that you are filling in the gaps of your understanding. So you first need to take inventory of what you do know and what you don't know, and then spend your study time targeting the areas where you need the most improvement. Put things into your own words. Test yourself by creating mini quizzes or using flashcards, any way that you are answering questions without looking at the answer. And then use a technique that's called interleaving. Interleaving is where you connect new information to things that you've already learned. And it also means that you are varying your study methods so that you're not stuck doing the same thing for hours on end. For example, don't spend 4 straight hours reading the textbook because after about 20 minutes, your brain will likely start to zone out. Instead, alternate between reading, writing, maybe watch a video or do a simulation. If you're a visual learner, you can try creating diagrams or figures to represent the material. The key is to mix it up and to stay engaged. In short, study smarter, use evidence-based strategies, and take care of your brain, especially when it comes to rest and variety. Now, to succeed in a virtual lab setting, it's important to be intentional and proactive. Engage actively with all of the materials provided. That means completing the pre-lab readings, watching any demonstration videos, taking the pre-lab quizzes before doing the lab activities. These steps will give you the background and context you need to get the most out of your learning experience. Keep your focus on the learning objectives for each lab because these are the goals and these are your guide. They help you to know what to look for, what to record, what to take away from each activity. And staying organized is also key, like we mentioned earlier. Make sure you keep track of your due dates, save your files where you can easily find them, and always review the feedback you receive so that you can improve moving forward. And even though you're working in a virtual environment, it's still essential to practice safe lab thinking. That includes lab safety protocols, the proper use of protective equipment, and how to handle or dispose of materials, virtually or otherwise, in a responsible way. With those habits in place, you'll be well prepared to make the most of your virtual lab experience. Now, let's take a moment to talk about lab safety. The anatomy and physiology labs in this course are designated as BSL 1 or Biosafety Level 1, which is the lowest level of biosafety. This means that we work with materials and organisms that pose minimal risk to healthy individuals. And of course, that is applying to face-to-face labs. Even though this course is totally online, it's still important to learn and understand baseline lab safety protocols. Stuff like proper hygiene, safe handling of materials, and awareness of personal protective equipment and waste disposal, even if you're only applying them in virtual or theoretical contexts right now. Why does this matter? Because this course is just the beginning. Whether you're planning to enter future lab courses or you're going to clinicals, supplemental instruction roles, teaching assistantships, undergrad research, or even grad school or med school, a strong foundation in lab safety is going to be important, and the habits and knowledge that you're building now will carry forward into every hands-on experience to come. You should be familiar with how to use emergency equipment, the fire extinguisher, fire blanket, safety shower, eye wash station, and first aid kit. In the event of a fire, remember the RACE acronym: rescue anyone in immediate danger, alarm others by pulling the fire alarm, contain the fire if it's safe to do so, and extinguish it or evacuate the area. When using a fire extinguisher, think PASS, P-A-S-S, right? So pull the pin, aim at the base of the fire, squeeze the handle, and sweep from side to side. Personal protective equipment, or PPE. If and when you are working in the lab, you must wear long pants, closed-toed shoes, and a lab coat. You always want to tie back long hair, keep jewelry to a minimum, and wear safety glasses that have side shields. Gloves are required, and if you have any allergies to glove materials, you should report those. They have different kinds of gloves now. It used to all be latex. Now we have nitrile and other plastics that we use. So if you have any kind of allergies, you can just use a different kind of glove. When handling lab equipment, you only want to use items as directed and how you are directed to do so. And then afterwards, you always want to clean, turn off, unplug, return all equipment to its proper place, report any malfunctions. All of that kind of stuff is important to remember. Good housekeeping, of course, helps keep everyone safe. You always want to keep benches and aisles clear, disinfect workspace before and after, and never bring food, drinks, gum, or makeup into the lab. You always want to store personal belongings securely and out of the way. And then, of course, proper waste disposal is a must. You want to use biohazard bins for blood or tissue-contaminated paperware, cultures, gloves, anything that is contaminated but isn't a sharp. A sharp is going to include things like needles, lancets, scalpel blades, glass pipettes, slides, razor blades. Anything that's sharp enough to poke through a plastic bag goes into a sharps bin. And then you only want to use the regular trash cans for things that are not contaminated and not sharps. So these are going to be like clean paper wrapping, packaging, regular office type garbage. Now let's go over the first assignments to help you get started on the right foot. Go ahead and complete the reading assignment listed for this week. So that's just the syllabus and the introduction and lab safety of the lab manual. And that syllabus is going to be really important because it outlines the expectations, policies, important dates, as well as the actual course calendar. You might want to go ahead and print that or save it on its own somewhere where you can find it easily. And then the introduction and lab manual or lab safety sections of the manual. This is going to help you find the more foundational information that you need to navigate the course and also give you a refresher on lab safety. There is absolutely going to be a lab safety quiz and also the intro materials, all of that kind of stuff. Everything here is stuff that could be on your first quiz. Okay, and just a couple reminders here. For this class, you always want to check the Moodle site. You have weekly quizzes and assignments. I highly recommend always doing the pre-lab exercises before taking the quiz because, again, that's where I pull the quiz questions from. So there's a good bit of overlap there. And even though the quizzes are open book, the quizzes and the exams are open book, they are timed. You have a limited number of attempts. So make sure that you are completing all the pre-lab exercises and saving those somewhere safe. Keep all of your notes organized, whether you're using Google Docs or however you are taking notes. If you're printing PowerPoints and putting notes on there, however you're doing it, you want to create an organized system so that you can refer back to these materials while you're doing lab exercises, while you're completing quizzes and exams. Okay, that will do it for the introduction. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to do the reading. Check the description of this video for more videos related to these topics, and leave your questions for me in the comments below.